Okay, and we're live. Eggs Football 323. How's it going?
Good, good, good. Iron Body, you know what we do. Free knowledge, dropping it on fools. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll keep building the community slowly but surely.
There's only one place we can start today. The probably the highlight of the weekend, El Clasico. Have to talk about it for many reasons. If we look at it from the negative standpoint, Real Madrid were terrible, shameful, embarrassing. From a positive standpoint, Barcelona were brilliant, confident, flamboyant, entertaining. So just where did it all go wrong? Well, surely Karim Benzema being absent couldn't have made that big a difference, could it?
Well, let's call it El Slapico because they got slapped, man. They got put in a spliff real good, man. That Buja Bunting type of spliff. No, I mean, where did it go wrong? I told you about Militao, man. The guy's not good. But put that aside, was over 30 easily, with Modric, 36. And then when you don't have Benzema, I know you saying it's not that big a deal, but it is a big deal. Because remember when they played in the Cup, it was the same thing. Barcelona kind of dominated them, but Real Madrid got the result that they wanted. But part of it is because Benzema almost counts as an extra midfielder. Like the ball sticks to his feet. So it helps you like relieve some pressure. I just think they got overrun in the midfield. Barca's young guns were moving, more dynamic, being brave. And Real Madrid just couldn't keep up. It's at the end of the day, if you look at the goals, they got split on all the goals pretty much. Like they were picked apart. So it's not something that you think is by accident. My guess would probably be Barcelona's preparation was better. They specifically planned to like pick on a few weak points, and that's how it looked like to me. Every single time the wide players were making their diagonals, and Aubameyang was making runs and then coming back, so kept dragging one of the center backs out of positions for others to run into. And then at some point, once they went down 3-3 or 2-0, I thought Real Madrid maybe they should have just stayed back a little bit, but they just thought they might have thought that was PSG, but they promise Barca actually keeps the ball now. So you can't just go gangbusting going, I'm just gonna go take it off them and don't make mistakes. They playing good technical soccer. So they don't lose the ball as easy. So I don't remember this bad a beating since I think 2013, maybe. That was the 5-0.
No, so I think 2015 there was a 4-0, I think.
Yeah, but the worst one was the one that Jose Mourinho was there.
The 5-0. Yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah.
Man, that was bad. And I think even that one, they fought. They were just, Barca was better. This one is like they were picked apart, so it's going to be tougher to swallow. And I think that will give Barca the push to probably finish top 2. And if Madrid mess around a couple of times, they might catch them. I think it's 9 points now.
No, I think it's still 12, but Barca have a game in hand or something.
Have the game in hand, yeah.
Yeah. So essentially 9 points.
So we'll see. It's too big. I think they're slowly coming back. They magically have money. They bought players and good coaching. Coaching makes a difference. Most of the players are still the same. So
yeah, I think the biggest point of the game was like you said, just picking apart Real Madrid's back line. And it looked very targeted. Aubameyang dropping in the midfield, drag one of the center backs with you. And this was like old school Guardiola, Luis Enrique bread and butter, where you have Messi or someone playing as the false 9 dropping into the midfield, and then your wingers kind of make those diagonal runs. Back in the day, it was, Pedro and David Villa doing that to good effect, especially in that 5-0 blowout of Real Madrid. that everyone remembers. To me, when I saw a few of those goals, I was getting flashbacks like, well, I've seen this before. So I wouldn't be surprised if Xavi said, you know what, here's what worked for us on that day. Let's try to replicate this, see if it works again today. And if that was the thinking behind it, then a plus job for him. And I would agree with your other statement. I think Barcelona were more dominant than Real Madrid when they played in the cup. I also thought they were more dominant when they played earlier this season in the league. Just Real Madrid was better on the counterattack, and Barcelona didn't know how to cope with that. But like you said, now they're just a lot more confident in their ability to hold the ball. Their rotations are a lot cleaner. Their movement off the ball is a lot cleaner. So it's a different machine. You know, people were laughing midweek last week when they dropped points, you know, to was it Galatasaray, and now people are like, oh well, this is a team in the Europa League. They just smashed the first place team in the Liga, who's also in the Champions League, you know, quarterfinals.
I mean,
So
fans are fickle like that. You know, it's the same thing. Like I keep saying, Ronaldo is shit, man. But he scored the one goal against Tottenham. Everybody's like, yo, he's the best. I'm like, nah, man. The guy, they've played over 30 games. This is probably his third game has been decent in. So one game, you say he's back, and then I'm telling you, 27 games he was shit. That's basic math, you know. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand basic math. Whatever happened, the most recent, that's what they go with. So Barca have been and I think we've been talking about it. If you just watch the soccer, even when they drop points, you can see they're playing similar to the Barca like we all knew growing up. So it was just a matter of time, and now they're finishing. And that's why I tell people, Aubameyang is in Arsenal. They're like, oh yeah, he's not good. He goes to Barca, and I think he has 10 goals already. He scored in every game. I go, yes, when you create stuff for him, he's a finisher. He makes runs. He's not a typical striker that will hold up the ball, but he finishes. Arsenal doesn't create chances. Even though they're a good team now, they don't create chances for their forwards. So all of a sudden, you can't, I've always said, a good player outside of age does not automatically go bad, right? They still have the ideas of what they want to do. As long as they're still young enough, they'll go through a bad spell. But a bad player can become better over time with training. A good player doesn't all of a sudden just go back, especially when they're professional. So same thing with teams. Same thing with teams. Teams don't just go bad or go better. They can go from bad to better, but if they're good, unless something dramatically changed, the players are not motivated, most likely they don't just become bad. And unfortunately, that's at least my opinion. That's how I see sports. And I think it's harder for us to watch as we look at it from a coaching perspective, while most look at it from a spectator standpoint. So will never make sense to those looking at it from that perspective, and it will never make sense to us watching it from a standpoint. So
yeah, and Aubameyang actually broke a record in the last game playing against Real Madrid. He became the first player to score in 5 consecutive matches against Real Madrid. So he now has 7 goals in his last 5 games, I think it is, against Real Madrid, which is pretty impressive. Just the ability to be able to score that many goals in high level matches, and then the fact that it is against Real Madrid just kind of speaks for itself, really. So hats off to him. I know you've always been a maybe not a huge fan, but you've seen his ability, you know, you've believed in his ability. I thought he was being mistreated at Arsenal, you know, whatever the person are. You know, we've only heard one side of the story of it, but again, Aubameyang hasn't come out and said, "Oh, this is false." The club is making things up, so maybe there is some truth to some behavior issues. But for the time being, he looks like he's having a bit of a renaissance, and you know, for Barcelona's sake, hope he continues. Yesterday, the Barcelona Femení followed up the men's win with a 3-1 win, come back from behind in the Champions League quarterfinals, the Women's Champions League, defeating Real Madrid 3-1. Uh, I tuned into the second half of that one, so I was able to watch the comeback be complete. And again, just like very comfortable in possession. And once they got the PK, questionable PK, they were able to add a couple more goals in. And the last one was a beautiful goal involving six different players, including the goalkeeper. And they just swept through Madrid's midfield and back line from less than 12 seconds to pick them apart for the goal. Uh, yeah, it was.
I didn't watch that game. I got a bit busy at work, right? We have real work. So like by the time you messaged me, I was like, oh shoot, I still wanted to kind of jump on, but I was so busy, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. But today I was able to catch both games today, which they were both solid games. It's some good soccer. I wish like more people today. I think they were online. There were what 60,000 watching the Arsenal game, so that's not bad, right? But it could be way more if people knew about it, knew what's happening. It was pretty impressive soccer. But yeah, Barcelona, I think on the women's side, they're the strongest at the moment. They're going to be hard to dispose of. I thought Arsenal would be the team that could keep giving them a run, but unfortunately, what they played Arsenal early in the Champions League and they slapped them around. And then Arsenal is doing good in the Super League. I think they're in first place with Chelsea having right behind them. But the issue is I think right now they've given up the most goals for all the teams left in Champions League. The defense is shaky. And today the goal they gave up to Wolfsburg was basic, just loss of not paying attention. And against a team like Barcelona, I think will always be tough for them. So I think Barca is going to be hard to beat. Chelsea, they're still doing their thing, but we'll see. But Juventus look good, decent today, not bad. Lyon, it shocked me. Lyon was ahead 1-0, pretty comfortable. Long ball in the air, and then the center back trying to do a Jorginho facing her own goal and mistouched it. Before it goes by and she grabbed her. So it was a straight red right after Juventus scored. And then got the second one. It was a fun game. And then the Arsenal game was pretty good too. They have, what's her name? They switched a position now. Miedemar, now she's playing number 10. So she did an interview. She goes, yeah, I never wanted to be a striker. I always wanted to play the midfield. So now they got a striker. She might be Greek.
No, I think she's Swedish.
Swedish, yeah, she's not bad. So they got her now playing center forward, and then they drop medium to the middle, and she actually looks good there. When she gets the ball a little bit deeper and she starts carrying that defenders, they were guessing like, is she going to shoot? Is she going to pass? So it was pretty interesting to see. It was funny that she said she doesn't want to be a striker, and she holds like most of the records for goals scored. So tells you how talented she is.
Right. And yeah, the new number 9 we were just talking about, Stina Blackstenius, she is Swedish.
Swedish.
Which would
yeah, I like her. She holds the ball up pretty well. Not super fancy, but she had a knack for being in the right spot, finishing. So it was good to see. Both games today were pretty solid, even. I wish Lyon didn't get the red card, but the game is the game. It is what it is. So they needed to find a way to defend. Oh, and Juventus, something just switched in their head. They got the red card, and then they hit the crossbar on the volley, got the goal, and then got another one. Like it was, and people, so it's just one less player. I go, not at those levels. If you lose one player, man, the amount of work you have to do and the opposition you left and right, it's not as easy as it looks like, oh, it's just one player. But yeah, happy to have the Women's Champions League back, man. People forget them and pisses me off, but it is what it is. I like watching them.
Yeah, I enjoy it as well. Especially when you look at like some of the French teams, Lyon, obviously probably the most famous women's club, so successful in the past, 10, 15 years in the women's side. And they always have some of the big stars. Like I know they still have Cascarino up front and Henri in the midfield. Their two center backs, I think, are
Yeah,
solid.
solid.
Center back pairing gets Wendy Renard from France, and then Buchanan from Canada, and then the French goalkeeper Boadi. Um, so it's always a very good team. So I didn't see the game, but the fact that Juventus, really with no, like big names, were able to get the job done. Um, Speaks volumes for how much that team has grown. So
Yeah, Juventus is not bad. They have some players, that's for sure. Not like well-known players, but they have some ballers on that team, like clever players. Wolfsburg too, and Wolfsburg probably is one of the biggest women's teams in Germany and in the world too. Man, they have some players that some of these women can ball, man. Like not megging people like they play street soccer. I was like, what the heck? I'm used to like the German teams normally being structured and all that stuff, but they have some really clever players. So the game is growing on the women's side. Everybody's catching up, and unfortunately, I think this is how Europe will pass the US when their teams are playing in these Champions League consistently. And here we have teams playing 5 months and then it's just playing against themselves. It's closed systems. They're not exposed to anything outside of the people in their league. And these European teams with their cross pollination, the coaches moving from one league to the other, you can see all of them slowly getting stronger and stronger. So should be interesting the next few years on the women's side.
yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's just not enough being done to grow the game here in the US. So I think it might be next year actually. Yeah, 2023 Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see that one. I think that'll be the last year that the US can really push to win or to dominate, because I think that'll be the you know, last hurrah for that cycle of players who've been so successful over the past decade or so. And then after that, we're just going to start seeing the young guns from all these other countries, Sweden, France, Spain, Japan, Canada, even. So I think if the US can't win it next year, we might just start being one of those historical teams we talk about, to our kids and our grandchildren. Oh, when I was growing up, the US women's were great. And that's kind of the regard that we'll have to speak to them about. So we'll see.
Agreed.
Should be interesting. So
Well,
looks
maybe by then, man, you'd have developed some players who would have made it to the national team. We'll see.
I wish that's the hope. One of these kids, loves the game so much that they want to keep playing at a higher and higher level, but can only do so much for them.
Yep. Comes to a point where they gotta just do it themselves.
We got some World Cup qualifiers this week. Most notably the European, the UEFA qualifiers. The Poland game against Russia obviously was canceled. Poland will advance to the next round. And I think I saw some reports earlier that Russia wants to host.
Yeah, I saw that. They're funny as hell, man. They put in a bid for the 2026 Euros and then the 2032. No, 30. Right?
No, I think it's 2020
No.
and 2032.
Yeah, 2028, and then yep. So they put in bids for those to host, which we'll see how that goes. It's interesting tactic right now. They're banned from everything, so it's kind of sticking your thumb at them, which it is what it is. If you can put in a bid, they put in a bid. So we'll see. But yeah, the Russia-Poland one, I'm not sure. So if question is, are they going to just let Poland go through, or are they going to wait if things calm down, then they have them play, they reinstate Russia, have them play? If it was me, they have to make a difficult call, probably just let them through, because it's not their fault that the whole thing was started. So
Yeah, no, I
I say
think
they
that's
should
what
just
I think that's what they're going with is so the match is tomorrow. So there's three different qualification paths. So path C, which is probably the most difficult one. On one side, you have Italy and North Macedonia. On the other side, you have Portugal and Turkey. The winner of those matches will face each other on the 28th, if I'm not mistaken. And the winner will go through to the World Cup. For path A,
but
you
then why
have
won't you do the same for
Scotland.
Ukraine? That means
Yeah, Scotland against Ukraine is supposed to be tomorrow, but I think that one will be postponed. And
it
then,
is postponed right now.
oh, okay. And then,
So that's what I'm saying is, how do you stand the ground, say Poland goes through because of Russia? What they should do is they should just let match up Russia and Ukraine, and then go whoever wins, man, also counts for a win for the war. I don't know. Get 2-1, man. No, but I think it will be tricky if you use that rule against Russia. It has to be consistent. Then you have to tell Scotland goes through also, which won't be fair. So they'll probably just hopefully give it a month more, and then see if it needs to get replayed or no. But then they'll have the next round. Yeah, they're in a difficult spot, but I mean, they probably know what they're doing. So
yeah, I think if anything, they could just reschedule some of these games until the next international break. I don't see the issue in that. The World Cup's not until November. It's not like it's starting in July, so they have some time, I think, to sort it
yeah,
out. It'll be the winner of Scotland versus Ukraine against the winner of Wales and Austria. Um, and neither of those two matches are easy. I think Scotland and Ukraine is a good matchup
yeah,
based off of the performances both nations had at the last European Championships. Wales and Austria, another tough one. I actually would lean more toward Austria in that one. I think they have a few more dynamic pieces up front. Arnautovic, even David Alaba can get up there and score some goals. Wales, leaning on Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey, players who haven't really shown us that they want to compete at the highest level and put in the same amount of work that everyone else does. I don't really have much faith in those guys. And then path B, obviously the one that's been screwed up a little bit. Sweden, Czech Republic on one side, and then Poland and Russia on the other side. So that one, I guess, is to be continued. But
yeah.
some
I
interesting.
think Italy probably gets the result tomorrow. I think Portugal pull up for results. I think Sweden have been looking good. They're hard to beat. I think they'll probably pull off a result. And I'm with you on Austria. I think they're a little bit stronger, and I don't think Belgium really wants to play soccer, to be honest with you. And Ramsey went to Rangers, and it's not really blowing it up there either. So I think it's just the reality is that's their level now, and age catches up to everybody, especially when you're not playing consistently. So
Yeah, I think those will be some pretty good matches tomorrow. So I'll definitely want to tune in and check those out. Um, who else is playing? I think there's some Concacaf action.
forget CONCACAF, man. They have the African ones. There's some good matchups over there. Actually, they are pretty good. Congo, Morocco, Cameroon, man, I won't be able to work tomorrow. It starts at 10 a.m. Cameroon, Algeria should be good. Mali, Tunisia, Egypt, Senegal should be a good one. And then obviously the motherland, Ghana, playing against those Niger boys. So hopefully we'll make quick work of them. Ghana is not actually looking that good right now. They're going through, coaches got changed since AFCON. So I wonder, a couple players that they wanted to call up declined the call up. So we'll see how the ones that got look tomorrow. And Nigeria is always Nigeria. They're always good in these events. Them missing a World Cup is going to be pretty interesting. So
Yeah, I
I'd have
actually
liked for
almost
Ghana
forgot
to put
about that.
somebody else.
Almost forgot about that huge Egypt Senegal tie
Yeah, that's huge.
rematch of the AFCON final. Oh man, that's gonna be a good one. You said 10 a.m. kickoff for that one.
Yeah. Oh no, that's at 2:30. So the first one is Morocco and Congo. So that one, but starting from 12, man, I'll be glued to the TV on Friday. And then Argentina plays in the evening against Venezuela also. So on Friday. Trying to see here. And I think those are the main ones.
Yeah, from what I can see, those look like the big matches for the international break. Um, and I'm not always a fan of the international breaks. I think more often than not, there's not a whole lot to play for, so the games aren't as exciting. And sometimes the coaches will sub off like half the team, especially when it's a friendly. But there are a few matches with things at stake here, so I think, tomorrow there'll be some good games, and then when is it, Sunday or Monday the 28th? Yeah, Monday there'll be some more interesting games, so should be a decent international break this time around.
Yeah. Anything that leads to World Cups, or Euros or whatever, AFCON, I'm always excited about those. Is there anything that we're missing? I think those were the main stuff that happened this weekend. I'm just looking up a few more soccer stuff to see if there's anything we want to hit up before we finish out here.
No, I'm not seeing anything on my end.
We're good here. So, man, it's a long break, but hopefully United come back in a couple weeks, man, ready to make a run. I'm looking forward for how everybody comes back after this break. We're going to the business end of things.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be up to much good. Um, Decent stretch of games, I think, for them. Leicester, Norwich, Arsenal, Everton to come. So I don't know. I don't think it'll be terribly difficult, but knowing United, when they play teams like Arsenal or Leicester or Liverpool, they'll leak some goals. So it'll just depend how many goals that we're willing to score on the other end. So
We shall see. Should be a fun end to the season. Relegation battle is heated up. League winner battle is heated up, and then second through eighth is pretty heated. Yeah, second through seventh, I should say. Maybe eighth. Wolves are still kind of in there. It's heating up, so should be a good finish to the season. I like when all the leagues are close. So
all right, I think that's all we have for today. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of AX Football. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe. Lots of good free content on here, lots of good conversation. So anything you can do to support and boost the channel is much appreciated.
Yes, as always, like, subscribe, leave your comments, your opinions. Will probably be wrong, but you can still leave it. And soon I want us to do a watch along one of these games, man. Just watch along and just analyze it live and see how that goes. But it'll be pretty fun. But no, I'm glad today you had the Women's Champions League in the topic. Make sure we're giving the both sides some love, and it was some good games. So hopefully we keep getting more and more good high-level games on the women's side. Peace.
All right, AX Football. We'll catch you next week.
Yes, sir.